dun. Alright. Let's use Nun Becky to start off with. Let's see. Yes, I know. Welcome. Sorry, looking for a character to draw. You know what? I need to finish up. What's her name? Yeah, we'll finish up this picture. No worse than Nun battle. There we go. Yeah. Because I decided to get some rest before the stream, and I ended up sleeping past my alarm. I was like, damn it. And I remember getting up for the alarm too, because I set it for like 8:10, and I remember getting up to mess with it, and then I think I did the thing where I grabbed the alarm in my sleep, turned it off, and then took it with me in bed because I woke up with my alarm in my bed, and I was like, damn it, I did it again. Hello, Jet. That's why I usually have my alarms like far away from me to prevent that, but I must have did something to end up doing that. Oh yeah. Yeah, one of these days I should just draw more like humor artwork with shit like that. Just have Becky be like, "Wake up, idiot!" or "Wake up, bitch!" All right, so let's get to finishing this picture. Trying to remember certain patterns to this picture. Yeah, I saw it. I remember that being in Saints Row. Next month is oh yeah, St. Patrick's Day. Think we're good. If there's anything I'm missing, I can always fix it. Do. Yeah, everything's fine. I just slept past my alarm. Oh yeah, the dildo weapon has been in like Saints Row and other games before. You know, back when people could have fun and not bitch about stuff. Oh, do I long for the days where you would go to the options menu or something, put in a code, and then you just have big-headed mode or wireframe mode or I don't know, whatever ridiculous thing would be in a game. Or like in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, if you put in the code that looks like a pair of boobs, then you unlock a stripper as a playable character. You know, the good times. Yeah, Alex, nothing major happened. I just overslept. The last game that I know, right? Shit, I miss cheat codes. Like, don't get me wrong, I like DLC, but I also like, you know, just the random cheat codes that people would put in. Like, unless a game was like retro, like a remake slash remaster or something, the odds of a game having cheat codes are pretty slim. Like, I don't even know if like newer sim games have cheat codes. That was weird. My pen keeps freezing up. I'm like, no. Might just have to reset the driver. And it's still doing that. Hold on. Save. Let me try turning off this first. Yeah, the Konami code. I like that Konami uses that for their animation logo. I might try using the I'm using a new shading method for this picture, just to see how things will look. And if it doesn't look right, then I can just use the other method that I've been dabbling in things. Anyway, I hope everyone else is doing alright. Okay, I think her hair is good at this point. Leprechaun in the hood. Oh yeah, her cheeks are slightly different color, aren't they? Yeah, they are. It is so subtle. I might adjust it just so it stands out. I'll need to get that space above her eye. And her ears are darker. I think I can make this part of her ears the same shade to keep it consistent. I forgot the tail. Yeah, it might do something for like 5 minutes. And then she'll be like, alright. She'll say, alright, I want the real shit. It'll distract her long enough with her just either laughing at the absurdity of it being used as a weapon, or she'll play around with it herself. Get some amusement. Like, I can see her filling around with it, and then Plum is just like, "What are you doing?" And just having Plum just giggle. Hold on. Yeah. Nah, the joke would be that people assume she's become a werewolf and it's just her normal, but she's still hunting. It's like, oh no, she's become a savage beast. And you're like, no, no, that's just her. If anything, Plum would go hunting for a werewolf to pound or get pounded by. Either or. Like I could see her getting tackled by a werewolf, getting butt fucked, but then she's like, you call that fucking?" And then she goes around and turns it on the werewolf. And the werewolf's just like, what? And then, I don't know, maybe that'll awaken something in the werewolf. Yeah, exactly. Plum will just be acting like a zombie, and you're like, no, this is her. Or even if she did become a zombie, they wouldn't even like think she was any different. She'd be like, ugh, and you're like, quit it, cut it out, Plum. They just like tap her or push her out of the way. Maybe that's an outfit I can do for a stream for Becky. Make like a zombie version for Halloween. Okay, let me see how bright this is before I decide if I'm gonna change it. It's like I can tell it's different, but it may not be enough for when shading and all that happens, so I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter. There we go. That way when it gets shaded, it'll be noticeable. Before coffee in the morning. Cuts to actual coffee going like, what? She's like, I need my coffee. And he's like, oh, there's I made you a pot. And she's like, no, that's not what I mean. Opens her closet and there's coffee tied up or whatever. Or she just goes to her room and coffee's asleep in bed, and she just goes up to coffee's ass and just starts eating it out. And coffee's like, oh, good morning to you too. Oh, I didn't put the little thing. Okay, let me do that. She's just like, I'm here to eat ass. Okay, her nose is considerably different, so we'll do it this way. Oh, that's barely a shade darker. Fuck it, we'll just make her ears and nose the same color. Yeah, because that was barely a difference. I can never find werewolf hot, man. Eh, I can work. I can make it work. It's about the end result, not the middle. Although I'm sure there's a mid transformation kink. And I'm not just talking like alternate forms, I mean like in the middle of transforming. Your dogs are farting out. Well, you shouldn't have gave them stuff to fart with. Shouldn't have fed them bad stuff. There we go. Do-do. Okay. Let me close this since we're not using it. Well, you should know the rules of having a dog. You make sure they're away from your food. Or if you're gonna step away, you better make sure they either follow you or you hide that shit. Like, you're not new to this. Actually, I kind of like this color for her eyes. Since they made them both different color, slightly. And well, you gotta be more creative then. You don't want to be outsmarted by a dog. Come on, you can do better. There's still more stuff for her to do, for me to color, but I'll do her clothes first. Were her buttons any color? Yeah, they were like a golden color. Okay. It's a different color. I like the emote. Do. Let's see, is this the same color as her? No, she's darker. Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that like a long time ago. Like around when the original game released. We'll get her cufflinks in a moment. On the bottom of her dress. But we see Jam making friends with nuns. Maybe. The problem is that whatever faith that they have, she'll likely go against it because she knows the real thing. So unless she feels like starting a cult, it'd be kind of hard for her to practice something she knows 100% is incorrect. It would be like her walking into a church, hearing what everyone's talking about, and be like, "You guys are fucking wrong. It's nothing like that." I know, right? Like, I can see a bunch of like horny nerds or whatever following her around because of her fat ass, but other than that, that's like the closest thing to an actual cult that she'd have. I know, right? Yeah, it would be like a blog that Plum posts, where it's just pictures of Jam's ass. What the hell? I could have sworn I thought I highlighted that one. Yeah, it's just Plum making a website of Plum's ass. And Plum is none the wiser. Like, that shit would be funny. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just use this. Now I just imagine Plum in a kinky nun costume holding her sword. Yeah, that would be funny. Alright. I do need to copy this. Put that over here. Yeah, put this on the same layer. How do you think I feel with all the ideas I have? That I can only do so much at a time. Holy shit. Why am I being raided with a party of 9? And why are there 9? Thank you for the raid. Jesus. Big fat raid. I like the emotes. Thank you, welcome. Just working on a character. Order of the Blob, the Blob Wolf. I know, I need to draw more Blob characters. There's a lot I must do. Yeah, I need to get back into streaming more. Kind of got thrown off towards the end of last month, or whatever month or whatever time it was. Thank you. Non-waking cult. I mean, there is a Cult of the Thick that I'm eventually gonna add or do a story of, and I already have like more than enough nun characters for it, as well as a priest. Just a matter of getting there. And I need gold. There we go. Father Thick. I mean, pretty much his whole issue is that he's into thick. He's trying to like cleanse himself, but then he made the mistake of surrounding himself with a bunch of thick women. So the range goes all over the place, and he's just like, oh, what do I do? And so he has like basically his own church of thick. And then like even the women have the same issue where they're into it. So they kind of like doom themselves into being surrounded by the very thing that they like. It was like, well, this was poorly planned. And then at the same time, it's like, or was it? And they just keep going. Transforming Spider Ball. I might have to look that up again. I might loosely remember, but not quite. I'll have to look at that later, though. Grab the parts of her outfit and clean. There we go. Alright, so did all that. Still need her nails. Like a dark red. Could just make them the same colors or ribbons, but I figured they'd be a little bit darker. I was asked to ask you if you worked on a moving character before. The closest I ever done anything for Mugen was just insert the characters into the program. Like already made characters and put them into the script. And that was like years ago, back when Mugen was still like fragile and would crash a lot, so I don't even know if it's gotten better since. I mean, I'm sure it's gotten better since then. But that's the most I've ever done with Mugen. I would love to make my own fighting game. I downloaded a program called Smash Studio. I think that's what it's called. And it's basically you make pixel art of characters and stuff, and you put them in different framing and stuff like that. You can adjust it, blah 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 blah. And it basically is a pixelated Smash Brothers game. Oh yeah, I'm sure Mugen's gotten much better. Like, the last time I fiddled with Mugen was like, I want to say 2006 or 2008. So I'm pretty sure it's gotten a lot better in over a decade, so. But yeah, that's the last time I ever fiddled with it. But yeah, like if I ever had the time, I would definitely make like a fighting game or even an RPG. Because I have like RPG Maker, which I want to mess around with. I just haven't had the time. Like if I don't even know how much time I would need, honestly. But if I had the time, I would definitely just make like an RPG of like iHat or a fighting game with like, I don't know, the Creamfield cast just beating the shit out of each other for whatever ridiculous reason. It'd be like, oh, here's your chance to get out of purgatory, and they're like, what? So they beat the shit out of each other to get out. I'm pretty sure Jam would be the one to do it, to try to win her way out of purgatory. But yeah, if I had the means, I would definitely attempt to make a game. I mean, I have. Well, let me correct myself. I have the means. I just don't have the time. Because I'm working on other shit. Add an iHat to Crushing Force. Who would I add? If it had to be between like iHat and Creamfield. Well, technically none of the characters in Creamfield are fat. With the exception of Pumpkin Pie. And then if I go with iHat, there's like a number of big characters to choose from. And Marcy's not the fighting type. If anything, she would be part of a moveset. That'd be a head scratcher. I have to look at all my characters to see who would I pick. Okay, I think you're good on colors. Trying to see if I missed anything. I think we're good. Got her nails, yeah. Okay. Okay. Don't think I need this open anymore. Alright, I am going to experiment, so you are all going to suffer this with me. So I'm going to bring out this just so I can see what I did. But before I do any of that, that's how that looks. With the light, so what does this look like? Okay, it's much darker. Okay, there's a reason why it's in the order that it's in. Sub-Zero head rip on Skylar. But yeah, I would have. Oh, thank you for the follow, Kaze Cat. Oh, hey, Kaze Cat. Been looking at your stuff for years. I should probably get another song going. Thank you for the follow, Mutt Ninja. Nice name. Thank you for the follow, Kurajima713. Blake slaps Skylar on the Year of the Rabbit. Now, what they should be saying good luck to is Blake's husband. Oh, for Year of the Dragon, yeah, definitely. For Year of the Rabbit, it would have been for her husband. But yeah, Year of the Dragon, be like, up, good luck. But yeah, so much I need to do because I'm a dragon. So I need to do a lot this year. Okay. That's a placeholder because we'll be doing stuff. Alright. So this is a method that I'm fiddling around with for the future. So bear with me if it looks weird. Lots of fat dragon booty to draw. I know. I need to draw that stuff before the end of the month. And there's been a few art sets I'm thinking of doing. Like I was thinking of doing echidnas from Sonic, like a bunch of echidna girls to draw for an art set. Have fun with that. Do. But yeah, if I was gonna use characters in a fighting, like that's the bigger question. If I was just gonna make a game with any of my characters for a fighting game, who would I pick? That'd be a good question. Like obviously, Marcy's mom would be a fighter. Don't let Kim Penders know. Eh, he ain't gonna give a shit. Or maybe he would. Who knows? I would be surprised if he did give a shit. And then honestly, if it did come down to getting C&D'd by him, one, I'd be surprised. Two, I'd be like, alright, and I just take out the characters used and just replace them with official ones. I mean, he wouldn't be helping his case. If anything, he'd just make it worse. It'd be good for me, because I'm like, oh hey, this happened. Because let's see, I just end up using Tikal, Shade, whatever character that was in the comics that's official, or that is legal to use. And if I run out, then I'll just move on to Tenrix. So I'll probably use Gold, Scourge, or not Scourge, Surge. I mean, I can always tweak the idea. Not like it's like, oh no, now I can't make this. It's like, nah, I'll just do something else. And let's just adjust this, just so it's not so flat. Do-do. Let's see, if I was to do like a weird mechanic with a fat character, I would probably pick like a Vor character and then give them the mechanic where they have to like scarf down like another character as more of like kind of like an item, and it like takes them a few seconds to swallow them, and then they like get like some kind of buff or something like that as a mechanic. The biggest downside to making like a character that actually gains weight as a mechanic is that you're technically making multiple characters for this one mechanic. Oh, the dream one? Yeah, I could use her if I needed to. But yeah, like the problem when you make like a character that shifts forms is that it's technically counting as multiple characters. Because that's the case for like Misfortune from Skullgirls. She's technically two characters. Because they had to animate both her with and without her head. Oh, oh, the Dragon Girl. Yeah, yeah. I forgot about her. For a brief moment, I forgot that was two different things. Yeah, could always draw her too. Like, honestly, the only thing keeping me from drawing everything is just simply time. Which is why I'm trying out different shading methods to see if I can make things faster. And granted, I know that there are more simpler art styles to do things faster, like if I just did solely cell shading or something like that. So that is not lost on me. But I still want to make things look nicer. Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm practicing with. Because I wish I had done it on her head, but if the other shading method that I have is like slightly, well, not slightly, but like is a more darker shade, and I think it's a bit toned down from color. Whereas this method has a little bit more color put into it. It's kind of similar to cell shading, but not completely. And then I can adjust this with whatever I need. So yeah, this is just a method that I'm practicing with or experimenting with to see if it one makes the artwork look nicer, and two, if I can do it in like a faster amount of time. Which I probably could as long as I memorize the methods without having to go back and forth over and over. Because that's what I did with the current method that I'm using for the comics. I already have all of that memorized, so I know what to do. And then I could just be I could also just be at the point where I've already maximized how fast I can do something, and I just have to figure out spots to be more efficient in, like even if I can slim or shave off a few minutes. But again, this is what practicing is for, so you can see where to adjust. But that's why we're trying it out. And then I'm also practicing more Nanami stuff because I want to improve on that. But yeah, this is a shading method that I won't be using just yet in the comics. Because if this is faster, then I'll definitely use it. But I can't currently use it in the comics until like the next chapter. Just so styles are consistent. Because currently in the comics there's been like one method that I've been swapping around just to see if it looks any better or worse. And it roughly looks the exact same. Like maybe slightly darker in one way, but ultimately it's the same shit. So I've just been like, oh, okay, this doesn't matter. Excuse me. But if I do use the swap, like what I've been doing in the comics, if I do use the swap, I could probably use it better for painting, because painting kind of uses desaturation a lot more. So if I ever make another painting picture, I can use it for that instead of what I've been using it for in the comics. So it's just something I learned. I was like, oh, okay, I can use it for this. Because currently I have like what, 3 or 4 arts or shading methods. I don't want to say art style because roughly my art style has been the same. Haven't really done too much to alter it. But that's why I've been looking at an anime a lot more. The thing I have to learn with an anime though is that I don't want to get trapped into using construction lines. I'm trying to do it mentally. But that can be hard because in some cases you might need the construction lines. But that's just me. Yeah, one of these days I'm just gonna sit down for like a day and just practice like or just look up tutorials on like a RPG Maker and just try to make a short RPG, or start small and work my way up sort of thing. Because better to start with something than nothing. I still want to do the idea that I have planned for YouTube, so I'm gonna take time to work on that too. Lots to do. I think the part that's keeping me from working on it is like I'm trying to think of it as like some big grand thing, and I think I need to start small. Just like how I did with iHat. Because iHat was only like panels of one picture in the beginning. And then I got kind of frustrated because I wanted more panels. So I ended up doing that. So, because the original plan for iHat was like, I'll just do one big panel and move on from there. And then I was like, no, this is not going to convey the story I want to tell. So I just said fuck it and started doing multiple panels. I swear, this music just reminds me of Sonic Adventure. So yeah, this week I'm just gonna do everything I can to get an idea off the ground. Just so I can have fun with it. Still thinking who I would use for a fat fighting game. Like if it was just strictly fat characters. I guess if I had to, I'd probably use Marcy. Or maybe like an alternate version of Marcy who would fight. Because there's always, you know, different timeline stuff, so that's not off the table. So I'd probably just use either a fat Marcy who learned how to like fight or whatever, who got into like martial arts for whatever reason, or just an evil version of Marcy who happens to be fat. So it'd probably be like that. I mean, either idea works. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna be nitpicky about that. I'd be like, no, Marcy wouldn't do this. I'm like, bitch, just pick a different Marcy. I could see Pepper being in it as a character. She would definitely beat some ass. Let's bring some off light. Okay, so according to you, you're at 100. Overlay 100. Oops. And this is on multiply. 50%. So yeah, this is where we start getting into experimental shit. I was using black before. I'm gonna try using the shade that I'm currently using to see if it's any better. Yeah, it would if anything, it'd probably just be like that. It'd just be like it's either a world that's like that or like a civilization that's just a bunch of like big warrior, like big fat warrior women. Like, I'm not opposed to just making a whole fucking tribe of fighting fat women or fat fighting women. I'll just be like, fuck it. Yeah, this is where this idea falls apart. Because I knew this would be an issue. And this is how we learn. Chunky Amazons. Yeah, and like, I don't know, maybe like the storyline would be like winning the favor of the tribe leader or something. It's like only the strongest, fattest female warrior will earn the right to share the throne with the emperor or something. I don't know. Whatever random nonsense to make it make sense. Belly dancer Becky. I can already see where this idea needs adjustments. But this is how we learn. And if I don't like it, I can always just reshade it later down the line. Am I doing a zombie spin-off? I mean, I did have a zombie idea at one point, and that quickly went away when I decided to do the true. When I decided to do true ending. I do have zombie characters who can do like their own things, so it's not like that can't be an idea. But let's start this off with the good shit. But yeah, nothing keeping me from doing like an idea like that. The only, well, it's not really a problem, but the only thing I'd have to really think about is just where to take it. Because it would just be like, okay, infection starts with something ridiculous, like, I don't know, somebody pulled a tag off a mattress and now everybody's zombies. It would just be a matter of like, alright, so what do we do with this? Does it end with them going to like another dimension? Do they find a cure? Is there no cure? The sex apocalypse. But yeah, there are many places to go. You were joking. Yeah, sometimes it's good to think about these kind of ideas, just in case. If I did do a zombie comic, it'd probably just be a one-off, because I don't think there'd be really a reason to stretch it out any further. Or if I want to get like really trippy with it, I would like focus more on like weird gore ideas or something. Like, I don't know, like have like a fat character who is a zombie stuffing her face with, or their face with either dead people or survivors, and they just like eventually erupt out of their gut. Oh yeah. I mean, if the idea works, why wouldn't you use it, to be honest? Why do you think there were so many Five Nights at Freddy's spinoffs? It's like, hey, if it works. So that's why so many people made horror games. I mean, to be fair, that got people into making games. And some of them worked out. Just like how people got into making My Little Pony animations, and that eventually took off and they did something more serious. So, nothing wrong with it. The only thing that sucks for an idea is when it gets overdone. Like when Deadpool was getting popular and they put him in like 8 different comics. And it's like, dude, I like Deadpool and all, but fuck me, why is he in like 8 comics at the same time? Hello, welcome. But this was when he was like becoming more popular for his current style. Because back in the day, Deadpool was still like random and all that, but he wasn't as crazy as he is nowadays. Or at least back in like I think 2008 or so was when he started getting more popular. But before that, he was just kind of like he did still talk to himself and all that, but he wasn't as crazy. Like I still have the old comics where he would where he still just looked like a grungy mercenary. And I want to say it was because of the Hulk versus Wolverine movie that Deadpool started becoming more popular. Because at least from my perspective, that was when he started becoming more popular. Because as soon as that movie came out, then suddenly there was just more and more Deadpool. And Deadpool had been around like years or ages before all that, so it was just like a sudden spike. You'll never see Sonic characters fight Alien Predator. The closest we ever got to that was crossover artwork of Sonic with I think it was Spawn and Savage Dragon, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and a few other characters. I think Silverhawk was in there. I think it was either Silverhawk or Shadowhawk. I forget which one. I want to say Shadowhawk. That sounds more close to what I'm thinking. But yeah, like that's probably the closest we'll ever get. Although there was a Sonic and Sabrina crossover, I believe. I think there was like a short comic of that. And then of course Sonic and Mega Man, and Sonic and a bunch of Capcom characters. Because that stuff did happen. Yeah, see, I'm seeing the flaws in this art style, but I'm gonna keep going so I can learn. And plus I can always adjust it. Plus if I learn from it, I can still use it in the future. Alright, let me see what you're talking about. Real quick. Interesting. No, I don't think I saw this. I'll have to check that out later. Probably because most of Robotnik's robots are piloted by animals. So why would the virus work? Like, they don't have AI most of the time. Some do. So if we're talking about the ones that do, they're probably just written in a different code that the virus isn't compatible with. That's like the best way I can think of it. So it's either A, they're piloted by animals, so there's nothing to put a virus on, or B, they're just not compatible with his coding. Can't remember if there was like a in-comic reason for the crossover. Let's do it this way. Can always adjust it. Okay, this song is gonna go on forever. So let's break it up. Kirby games are just super fucking tragic. And it's always funny to see people's reaction to like a new Kirby game, because it's like, oh look, it's Kirby, he's all cute, and then as soon as they start playing the game, like, oh yeah, okay, where's the Eldritch horror? It's like a few seconds into the game, you're like, oh yeah. Because now it's like, okay, is this the character that's gonna betray us? Is this the character has become like an Eldritch horror? Where's the mind fuck? Like, I would be more surprised if a Kirby game didn't have that. I'd be kind of upset if it didn't, honestly, because I'd be like, really? That's all we got? No character being corrupted or eyeballs coming out of their mouths or whatever. I like how each game just subtly expands on the lore just enough to keep you guessing. And like sometimes the next game, well, often the next game doesn't have anything to do with what the previous game establishes. And it won't be relevant to like 2 or 3 games later. Okay, this has been bugging me, so I'm gonna erase this. There we go. That looks nicer. Honestly, that was like the only thing that was getting on my nerves. I mean, there's still issues with this style, but this is why we're tinkering around with it. And some of this could be because I'm not using a sharper brush. So I might adjust. Just a bit. And then Kamen Rider Geats is getting its DVD release, I think, next month, if I remember right. So I'm looking forward to that. Some of this doesn't need the shading where it is. There we go. Alright, this isn't so bad. I just gotta get used to how I'm doing it. And there's still much to do to it. And I can always adjust it. I wonder if there will be a game where in the end Kirby becomes like corrupted or whatever for whatever either game mechanic or story reason, and then you have to play as the other characters that you've either befriended or liberated from, like whatever the main issue is, and you have to save Kirby from being corrupted. And like, you know, due to Kirby being mostly a pure soul, there's like a sliver of Kirby that's still like, you know, unchanged, and you have to like bring that back out in order to save him. And then like the secret boss version would just be like whatever was trying to corrupt Kirby becomes its own entity. And that's like the Soul or EX version of the boss. That would be cool. Like, I could see Kirby having like a dark mode as like a mechanic. And then that's what makes him corrupted over time. I don't know, because they barely expand on Mennonite. and clearly Meta Knight looks like a Kirby when he's unmasked, but they never expand on it. And then they have like Galactonite and Morpho Knight, and so we don't know if it's just a coincidence now or if there's actual meaning behind it. Because if we're going off of like the anime, for example, then I think it was hinted that Meta Knight was a Nightmarian. Oh no, not Nightmarian is a, I think it's a Knight's thing, but like he was like one of those monsters that show up or whatever, but he just didn't obey. And I think the same thing was Kirby. Like Kirby was supposed to be like a dark entity that just wasn't corruptible. But like they never really expand on Meta Knight too much, other than he's just like a warrior. And who knows? Maybe Meta Knight was one of the knights that put Galactonite in his dimensional prison. Who knows? But like again, they don't expand much on Meta Knight to really answer this question. And it's usually like the same information we get each game. Although I will say, what was it? The mechanical version of Meta Knight from Planet Robobot. I don't know if they ever expanded on that version of him, because I can't remember if he was like the real Meta Knight, but like who became like a cyborg or like a clone of him. But they never really expanded on that, because all they really said was like, oh, we took a strong warrior and upgraded him or whatever. But that was like it. So I don't know if there's more to it. But then again, because some of it was non-canon, others is canon. Kind of depends on where we're going with this. But yeah, like as far as I can tell, they haven't done anything significant with Meta Knight, other than that one game where it's like, oh hey, I'm start a war or start a battle just to keep the citizens of the planet from being lazy. And I'm just like, oh, okay then, you do that. Okay, overrun. So yeah, it's hard to say what Meta Knight's deal is, because I don't even know if the people making the games know what they're going to do with him yet, or if they do have a plan for him. It's probably going to be a while before we see anything. They're probably planning something, because now they've used Morpho Knight twice. And it's weird because they went from using Galactonite as the secret character to Morpho Knight, including expanding on the whole butterfly that keeps following you thing. So who knows? There's probably some game they're working on that will expand on this. Alright, let's switch over. Switch some music. Oh, you know what? I know what we can listen to. Yeah, let's listen to this shit. Listen to some Plock. This game goes super hard with its soundtrack. Yeah, Meta Knight needs his own game. Just so we can get some relevant story. Because a lot of the time he's just been used for like what if scenarios. Now that I think about it, this song reminds me of Security Breach. And I can totally see this as like an inspiration by Security Breach. They were like, yo, this song is sick. Let's make our own version. How the hell is Block this hard on its fucking soundtrack? It's always like side games where the odds of you playing games like this are so fucking low that anybody who's played it is like a fucking miracle because they probably just grabbed whatever they could from fucking Blockbuster. But like the game itself has like bitchin' music. It's like, where the hell did this come from? That was the third ad. I'll have to try to adjust that. Can't do it during the stream, but I'll try to do it off the stream. Music goes so hard. Yeah, I think it's just the beat here that are fucking with me. And that's why it's making me reconsider this. But I think I just need to fiddle with it. So yeah, like this art style isn't bad, or the shading style isn't bad, it's just not as streamlined as the other method. I'll probably do the other method to this and have like a side by side and let followers decide which one looks nicer. And maybe there might be a third method just to twist things around. Two of them were food ads, huh? Day of the Dead Becky. I can see that. Okay, so did that. Next is this method. Okay. For the most part, just goes in the same flow that my other methods were. It's just in a different format. So maybe it's not as different as I'm assuming it is. We'll do one more block song. I already listened to that one. Let's try this one. It's pretty... well, this was the title one, so let's do this one instead. Never heard this song in forever.
You see my swag, now you wanna come and give me all this drag. I think you better back because my hand is itching to give you a smack. What's your name again, Jack? It's the hands of the road.
Song is so good.
Don't let the fly taste fool ya. Matter of fact, it's about time that I school ya. Don't worry, I'm not in a hurry. I don't even wanna get my fresh gear dirty. A little birdie, chirp and flurry. Now I'm a slip, but I better yet bury it empty. Look at me while I'm talking. I heard you was looking. I wasn't even stalking my program. Thinking you the man in the place. Now it's about time to get the hand to the face. Look, pimpin', I ain't playing. In a minute, you're gonna be laying on the ground. I'm messing around. My city, my rules, my money, my town. Look, pimpin', I ain't playing. In a minute, you're gonna be laying on the ground. I'm messing around. My city, my rules, my money, my town. Real titty, cold-coated, fresh to death. Literally, I do kill it. Love story in this game of death. Yeah, you hear the announcer, but ain't no ref. I just kept hearing your name too much, and that's it. Now I just came and touched your backbone with a boot. I came to the truth. It don't take much, damn, ain't that the truth? My boo got a thing for you. She really likes money, but the pain would do. He can't hand you a featherweight. I can't believe that you made it this far, but another take. A lot of work to make another take. I strike first, don't hesitate to populate the murder rate. You just serious respect on the holidays, that'll be one less.
Alright. Next.
You see my swag, now you wanna come and give me all this drag. I think you better back because my hand is itching.
Song is so good.
What's your name again, Jack? It's the hands of the road, ain't no turning back. Don't let the fly taste fool ya. Matter of fact, it's about time that I school ya. Don't worry, I'm not in a hurry. I don't even wanna get my fresh gear dirty. A little birdie, chirp and flurry. Now I'm a slip, but I better yet bury it empty. Look at me while I'm talking. I heard you was looking. I wasn't even stalking my program. Thinking you the man in the place. Now it's about time to get the hand to the face. Look, pimpin', I ain't playing. In a minute, you're gonna be laying on the ground. I'm messing around. My city, my rules, my money, my town. Look, pimpin', I ain't playing. In a minute, you're gonna be laying on the ground. I'm messing around. My city, my rules, my money, my town. I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold, baby, I'm so cold. I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold, baby, I'm so cold. I tell them quit that conversation, what you dealing with is nationwide, live, ride, side, when they ride. Now you fixed your fried work. I ain't fixed a lot of truth, what I be telling right. I sell that rhyme raw. You forget to cut your ass to die. That's just definite, my pimp game excellent, it's effortless. Why your cat style sounded celibate? I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold, baby, I'm so cold. I'm so cold, I'm so
I like the lyrics for this one.
cold, baby, I'm so cold. Yeah, the bottom line is y'all ain't fucking it right. I beat it up until it's fucking guts busting inside. To see your what? So just see that man a problem, but ain't a motherfucker on the earth that can solve him. Feel like a young prize fighter with a pair of punchlines like a shotgun. Cut you
use this brush for this part. There we go, it's a little better. Getting close to being finished. But yeah, after the stream I'll probably work on the other shading method for this, and I'll just put them up to see what kind of feedback I get. It won't like ultimately decide which style I'll use or like get rid of one over the other, but I would definitely like a second opinion. See her as a deer with that face. This theme is so fucking good. Did I eat today? Or yesterday? Eh, I'll probably get something after the stream. I ate enough. Only time I really ignore it is if I'm in the zone, usually. Yeesh, that just immediately shuts down. Okay. Oh yeah, just put these. Double check. Should be good. Next step. We'll do that part last. Okay, that's pretty much all that's left. I won't do a background for this just yet until I see people's opinions over which versions look nicer. Or which version they prefer. But that's why this is experimental. Do that. Should be screen, right? Yeah. And that's pretty well. Still got one more thing to do. Yeah, this is pretty much it. And so yeah, here's this character's artwork. And like I said, I'm gonna use my other method that I'm currently using on her, so I can get a second opinion. Because like I don't dislike this style, but I think I should probably cut a few steps if I'm gonna bother. Because I feel there's some parts of it that aren't as good as I'm assuming it was. But yeah, that's gonna be the idea going forward. So when I do the other method, I'll post both of them to see what people are into or what others' opinions are of it. But yeah, I'm gonna call it for tonight. Thank you everyone for coming. I will try to stream again. I don't know if I'm gonna do more this week, but I'll definitely do another one next Wednesday. But But yeah, thank you for coming. I will get back to working on comic stuff so that those are ready on for Friday, and move on from there. So everybody have a good morning / night, and I will see you guys next time. All right, thank you again for coming. You guys take care. Bye bye.